All right, so let's go ahead and create a new document type for the Livingston loop. So make sure you are logged into the platform. Make sure your menu is open. And we want to go ahead and use this site selector here to navigate to the Livingston loop site. Okay? All right, so click on that little compass there. That's going to be our site selector. Click on My Sites. All right, and then you're going to find all of the sites that we created, including the Livingston loop. So go ahead and click on the Livingston loop here. All right, so now that we are here, let's go ahead and open up the content section and documents and media. All right, so in documents and media, you'll see that we have our normal document repository here, and then we have our document types and metadata sets options here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a document type for our basic employee record. Okay, so click on the document types tab here. All right, you'll see some default document types here. If you're interested in taking a look at how these are all created and managed, what fields are included in them, feel free to pause the video and take a look around. All right. Otherwise, let's go ahead and click on the Add button here so we can create a new document type. And we're going to go ahead and name this Basic Employee Record. All right, and the description we're going to type here is Employee Records for Livingston HR. All right, from here, go ahead and open up the main metadata fields section. This is where we will see our nice little graphical editor here, where we can drag some fields to the right and we can configure them in order to determine what data we want to actually gather with our document type. So let's go ahead and start with a text field. So go ahead and drag a text field to the right side of the editor. We're going to go ahead and configure this. You can do this by either clicking on it or clicking on the configuration button here. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and update the field label here. We can double click on where it says text. All right, and we can go ahead and change this to full name. All right, now in addition to this, we want to make sure that we are ensuring that this data will be included with our documents. So let's go ahead and go down to where we see required, which is going to be a couple of fields down here in the settings, and change required from no to yes, and click save. All right, so that's nice and easy. We're going to do the same thing with an integer field here to gather the employee's ID number. So go ahead and click on fields again here. All right, find the integer field. It should be in the middle for you. Go ahead and drag that to the right side underneath our full name field. We'll configure this guy as well. It's pretty much going to be the same thing. We will change the field label from integer to employee ID number and click save. And we will change this from required from no to yes and click save. All right. So again, this is nice and easy. All we need to do is pull in these fields and define what information we want. Okay. So we're going to do this with a few more fields. I'm going to go a little bit more quickly. Again, if you need to pause the video in order to catch up, feel free to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and click on fields. And the next thing we want to do is gather the home address of our employees. So we need to drag another text field underneath our employee number, configure this, change the field label to home address, and save. And we're going to make this required as well. All right. This time, let's do it with a date field for the date of birth. I'm going to go to click on fields, date, pull it down here. Again, I'm going to change the field label to date of birth and make that required as well. All right. And then we also want to gather the job title information. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add another text field underneath date of birth. So I'm going to go back to fields, text field, place it down here at the bottom. All right, I'm going to change the label to job title and click save. And I'm going to change required to yes. All right, so all of this information is going to be required. So whenever a new employee document is added and we use this document type, we are requiring that this information will be included so that we can find this information in the database later. All right, so we can go ahead and click Save. At the very, very bottom, we have all of the information we need. And now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and create a special folder for specifically our employee records. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the Documents and Media tab here. We're going to click on the Add button at the very, very top right. So we'll see it says New. And then we're going to do New Folder. So let's add a new folder here. All right. This will be called Employee Records. All right, we can add a description if we'd like here as well. Okay, so folder for storing employee records. Something like that. And click Save. Now it's important, of course, not only to use the document types, but also to use these folders as well and any subfolders you might need to keep things as organized and clear as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and add a new employee record. So we can go into our new folder. All right, we can click Add, find the basic employee record at the bottom here. And we're going to go ahead and add a file and include the information about our new file. So I'm going to click on Choose File here, or might say Browse, depending on your operating system. Okay, go ahead and navigate to your exercises. They will be in either C Liferay or User Home Liferay, and we're going to be in the second chapter here called Digital Asset Management. Okay, go ahead and select the omarmiles.pdf file. Click Open. All right, and now we'll see all this information we need to fill out here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that together. So we're going to go ahead and do Omar Miles for the name. His ID number is going to be 174903. All right, his home address is going to be 123 Main Street in Anytown, USA. Maybe close to where you live. All right, and let's go ahead and for the date of birth, we can go ahead and just type it in or use the date picker here. So I'm just going to type it in here. It's going to be 4/18/1983. Okay, and then lastly for the job title, we're going to do editor, and then we'll also write in Livingston Life. All right, and now we can go ahead and publish our new document. All right, and once our document is published, all of this data is stored. I can go ahead and click on my PDF here again if I'd like. You don't have to do this. You can just go ahead and watch. All right, and once it comes up here, if I click on the Info section here, I can scroll down and see my document type. I'll see some basic metadata that is included by default. Okay, and then if I go down, I'll actually see my information here. All right, and I can, of course, search on this data and find exactly what I'm looking for. All right, so there we have it for the basic employee record. What we're going to do next is we're going to add a document type to the global site in order to make it accessible to all of our sites. Okay, so if you're not already familiar with the global site is a special site in Liferay where whenever we add any data there, specifically any content or any metadata that can go with content, it's going to be accessible to all of our sites on the platform. Okay, so we know we have multiple sites. They might have different audiences and different content, but in some cases, there are things that you want to use across the board. Document types may be one of those things, and some of the other features we'll look at later may also be something that you consider for the global site. So let's go ahead and navigate there by using this site selector here. Again, that'll be in site administration, and it's going to be that little compass. Click on My Sites, and go ahead and click on Global. Okay. All right, so let's close the build section here, open up Content and Documents and Media. All right. go ahead and click on Options at the very, very top right, and click on Export Import. We're just going to go ahead and import a document type for use here. All right, it's going to be for our different image types that we will be using on the platform. All right, go ahead and click on Import here. Click on Select File. All right, and in your exercises, again, make sure you're in that Chapter 2 section. You will find the image type.lar. So we can go ahead and open that up. Click Continue. And Import. All right, when you see Successful here, we can go ahead and close the pop-up. And now we have a new document type that we can use on all of our sites, okay? If I click on Add here, I will see image type as a document type option in global. But if we also navigate to the Livingston Hotels and Resorts, we will also see this option. So that's the benefit of our global site. All right, so let's go ahead and navigate to our main Livingston Hotels and Resorts site. We can do that with the site selector here. You may see it here right up front. If not, you can go ahead and click on My Sites and then just click on Livingston Hotels and Resorts. All right. Here we can go ahead and click on Content, Documents and Media. Okay. And we can click Add, and you'll see the image type option here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this as an example. We can choose a file for an image, so go ahead and click on Choose File, or again, it might say Browse for you. And go ahead and choose the Grand Hotel JPEG found in the second section of your exercises. All right, and we have name and image type. So let's go ahead and fill out that information. For the name, we're going to go ahead and name this Grand Livingston Hotel. And for the image type, we're going to go ahead and select front page from the many options that are here. And that's using that select field for our document type. All right, and from here we can go ahead and click Publish. All right, and it's as easy as that. So again, what we have here is a number of ways to organize our documents. We have folders and we have document types, and within those document types, we can go ahead and use these fields to identify certain information about those documents, okay? And don't forget as well, we have the global site where we can add resources to be used on all of our sites, okay? So there may be cases like this where a document type or a few document types might need to be used on multiple sites, or perhaps some metadata like categories or tags, which we'll talk about in the next chapter, could be added there as well. So keep that in mind as we continue working through this course together. All right, so I'll see you in the next chapter.